freaking thing is in the way. Hey, welcome. Lord, if it ain't one thing, let me tell you, okay? Because I know y'all just seen me real quick. Because I don't know why something was a hesitate and a pause, and I'm trying to press the thing, but the thing is in the way anyway. Happy Friday, y'all. I said happy Friday last night, and last night was definitely Thursday. But look, let me double check. Tonight is in fact Friday. Yes, Lord. I told y'all the kids didn't have school today, and my mind was all types of frazzled. And that little one, she's really trying to stress your girl out. I'm trying to see what it do with this pink light, because I'm trying to do something different and position it that way so we could see what we working with. Yes. And then I got my other light. Anyway, how y'all doing? Y'all got extra days off? Y'all got a nice 3-day Memorial Day weekend? I hope so. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Drag of drags, but time to make the donuts. We're supposed to speak positivity. I'm blessed to have a job, y'all. Let's start there. Sometimes, but ... We're going to get into the thing. This is my first time doing a first reaction for the Never Ever Mets. And quite honestly, next week will also be a first reaction because if you guys don't know, next Saturday is your girl's birthday and I'm having a Saturday sip at 11 o'clock. You guys are welcome to come through. I got a bunch of awesome women joining me to celebrate, maybe do some games and things of that nature. But I don't want to be doing two things on a Saturday night. Okay? And I don't think I have anything scheduled Sunday because I don't know what Saturday about to look like. But next Friday, I will also be doing the Never Ever Mets. Hopefully, like I said, my kids will get their act together and I can get here on time, which should be 10:30. Next Friday night, we will do the Never Ever Mets, and that will be episode 7. I did find out, you guys, I put it... Ooh, I'm bumping things. I said it in another video, and I think I put it in the comment section of my video for episode 5. Initially, I only saw 6 episodes for the season, and I was a little confused by that. I couldn't find anything else, but they didn't say that this episode was the finale, and indeed it was not. And after I did a little research, when I got off the live last week, I found out that there are 10 episodes in all. So we're going straight through to June 21st, which is good because Summer House is about to be a wrap. I got to do the Ultimatum of South Africa reunion, and that's a wrap. So I will have some other things coming. Not to worry, but I will probably be getting more back into the scripted. Going to do Power Book 2 Ghost, but I'll give you guys all those lovely updates at the end of the video. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Oh, let me check my microphone. I know that that's the right camera, but okay, the right mic is on. We are good to go. Let me know if you can hear me, hear me okay as you come into the room. Like the video. drop a little comment in the comment section. Let me know you're here. Share the video where you share your videos to let people know, hey, our girl is on. She about to talk about the Never Ever Met. Always keep your notification on. I kind of always forget to say these things. And even though I have it scrolling across the bottom, I just got to get back in the habit of it. Let me get these notes up. What is sticky on this desk? Get these notes up so we can start talking. Like I said, I switched today, so some of y'all might be like, girl, what are you doing? You usually be coming to us on a Saturday? A Saturday. I think I might have started with a Sunday, but here we are. Definitely this Friday and next Friday will be the Never Ever Mets. I don't know if I'm going to switch it back to, actually, I may keep it Friday because once Power Book Ghost comes, I think I want to do that on a Saturday. So we may just keep this on a Friday night as a first reaction. I haven't done that in a while. I was doing that with Love and Marriage DC. If you guys were here with me for that, because welcome to my new subscribers. Hey, hey, hey. And thank you to those that have been sticking with me through this journey. I really do appreciate you guys. Now, without further ado, let's get into the thing. We don't have too much to talk about. We got to talk about Mr. Aaron H. And somebody please go check on Diamond with the Y, okay? We are here for the Never Ever Mets. Title is horrendous. Season 1, episode 6, Pushing Beds and Boundaries. Baby, you know the title is always going to fit the episode, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, it's not the very end of the episode, but almost. My throat already, y'all. Your girl is taking her allergy medicine, but you know, the pollen is pollinating, okay? The nose, the throat, it's all doing what it does. So we are picking up right where we left off, which is why I have these two on the screen with old Aaron and Irene going back, forth and forth. Shay is in the kitchen with the rest of the ladies looking like, ooh, clutching my pearls. Shay in her blanket, okay? Because Shay is always wrapped up in some doggone blanket. They're trying to mind their business. It's kind of hard because it's escalated and elevated. So outside, Aaron is talking to Donald, which is his friend, because we had to escort his ass on out of here because, Lord, okay, we're going to get into it. And he's like, you know, this lady don't know him from a can of paint. It's basically what he's telling him. Inside, Diamond is telling his sister, like, y'all took it too far. And I feel for Diamond with the why, because you never want to be in this situation. You hate to be in this situation, but I think at this point it was very eye-opening for her. We're gonna get through this, and we're not gonna see Diamond. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I mean, y'all watch with me. You're not going to see Diamond for the rest of the episode. Oh, quick pause. Anybody on Facebook, I know you guys can come comment there also, but feel free to come over and join me on YouTube. Get down in the comment section and talk to your girl. Anybody on Twitter, come on over to YouTube and let's talk. Anyway, like I said, we're not going to see her for the rest of the episode, and it's just like, whew, Lord. So Irene points out the obvious. The thing that a lot of us were saying is if he stood up and want us to squabble with her when she fights ninjas for fun. These are her words, not mine, y'all. What do you think he'll do with you? That indeed is the question, because in my last recap, I kind of didn't give him the energy that he deserved with the whole Jody thing. And I mentioned that at the end of the last recap because I'm just not a fan of Jody and her energy. But everything was very after the fact. If you didn't stand up for Diamond with the Y in that moment, don't go try to stand up for her now. If the opportunity creates itself, then fine. But for him to go in the way he did was kind of like stupid. But, you know, like I said, I ain't a fan of Jody. So I kind of let him rock when he was also essentially wrong in that moment too. You don't need to be getting all loud and rowdy with these women like that, okay? Especially when there's been nothing done. But even if there's been something done, you have to learn. We talked about this in the finale episode of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Go ahead and check your girl out with that too, because I just did a recap for that last night. To disengage was the wrong word. De-escalate. That's always the thing with men. I remember even going through that in certain situations with myself, with exes, and them being like, and I'm like, but sir, it's not de-escalating. Like, you are adding fuel to the fire. We never want to add fuel to the fire. We always want to de-escalate the situation. Was Irene on 10 coming in there? Yes, she was. Did he have to bring her 10 to 20? No, he did not. Let's get back to where we were. So Diamond is kind of saying, if you can call her a B, you'll do the same to me. He says he wouldn't because, I mean, what else is he going to say? So she says, I told you that I would handle it. She was trying to tell him, like, she already knew what the energy was from the whole, Facebook thing. And he wasn't feeling her and she wasn't feeling him, but Olivia Pope, she had it handled. So he says, the sister greeted his friend Ronald, you know, words, pleasantries. But when it came to him, she kind of cut her eyes at him. But Diamond with the Y says, listen, I gotta go check on my sister because she's about to skedaddle on out the door. Hey, friend. Hey, Ashley. Yes, Pastor and the First Lady was doing their, let's leave this up here for a little while. They was doing the worst, okay? Actually, not so much the First Lady, but definitely Pastor was on one, okay? So the producers are like, come on, child, they're gonna have a word with Irene. Diamond with the Y, she kind of pulls Millie to the side. Now, Millie was like, oh, I want to meet your sister. And she was like, girl, no, you don't. I said, you think his sister was gonna be rude to I don't think she would have been rude to Millie. So she pulls Millie to the side because, she needs a heart to heart. She needs her sister. Okay. Now, I laugh because Diamond with the Y says she didn't get along with the ladies, but she's been doing perfectly fine all season. So Millie is kind of like, trying to give her a word. She's basically saying, even though what she's saying may not be true, she, loves you enough to respect you and be honest. And sometimes that honesty is going to hurt. I think Millie know the vibes, especially with what Millie's been through with men escalating and what that leads to. But she didn't really get into it. So Diamond, she sits down with her sister and she's like, listen, I already know what it is. Like, I just need you to be there for me. Her sister's like, girl, I got you. I got you. We good. She don't fool with this ninja, but they're good. So her sister kind of gives her, the no doubt of it all. So they hug and her sister leaves. So now it's time for Uncle Aaron H, and Diamond with the Y to sit down and have the tough conversation that needed to be had. Um, mm, 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 mm. So he says basically that he had every intention of being polite and respectful, all of the things. But when he walked in and he's hearing, you could do better, he didn't do better. So in his confessional, he says that he is worried which side she will choose, as you should be. He says he feels bad about the way he reacted. It should have never happened. He says he was wrong and he apologizes. Yeah. So he says his focus is on her because he is in love with her and he hopes that down the line things will change between him and the sister, that is. Child. And basically in her confessional, she says, all she really needed was the apology and she's back on board. Now, those are the words that she says, right? But words and action are two different things because as I will remind you, we don't see Diamond with the Y the whole rest of the episode. And Uncle Aaron H, is poking his nose in everybody else's business where it ought not be, okay? You need to go work on some anger management, sir. And what the hell is going on with you? Because honestly, the sister wasn't wrong because you was giving second fiddle vibes with her sister, okay? The grass is green where you water it. So in the kitchen, Chris says that, the sexual tension, I'm going the wrong way, y'all. I'm going the wrong way. This joker, he says the sexual tension is at an all-time high and he is ready to take her down. But the boom boom room is always occupado, okay? So they're just basically going to have sex while Aaron J is laying in the next bed, I guess. Is what we're doing. Womp womp. So now Jody is talking to Aaron. I think it's the next day. Child, it's hard because one time is day, the next time is night. We don't know if same day, different day. This is not, Summer House Martha's Vineyard. They're not going to tell you that it's day 10 or 15, which they kind of really should, but that's just because they playing with us with the foolishness. They mixing the day and the things together, right? So she talks to him about not opening up to people and having that hesitancy because she was abused as aid. We have to be cautious of our words over here. And all of the things that she endured. And he's kind of saying, their business is their business. I hate to get into this because of how we feel about Jody, because I don't want to excuse what happened to her. It's very much apples and oranges. That is awful. That should never happen to anybody. Period. Hard stop. Pushing that to the side, to the sideline. Her attitude, though, and how we're behaving, and her bringing him on here, it's just, y'all give me un momento. Let me give y'all some. My stuff is really too far apart. Give you guys some music. Please like the video and give your girl one moment, please. Oh, what just happened here? Okay. My apologies. Pardon the interruption. Hopefully the sound is back to where it should be, because when turn the music on and turn the music off, the sound be sounding. Pardon the interruption. Like I said, the kids are home and they have been on one since I got home. Woosah. So, child, Greg wants Chris to reconcile with Millie. He gets the two of them together in the room. He leaves the room. Millie is standing on business. She said what she said. Shout out to Nene Leakes. Okay. She says, you asked me to speak and then you got mad with what I had to say. So I called you out your name. Now she says she called him a B. You know what the word was. And she's like, Sandia may deal with it, but I won't. Chris is really done with it, but she wants this man to be accountable, and nowhere on Chris do we see accountability. Okay. Safari's cousin, he don't do accountability. So he gets up and walks away, and she calls him a B yet again. There you go, being a B again. I said, oh, okay. Millie is not here to play. Okay. Millie likes to tussle. Okay. And we find out why a little bit later, and my heart goes out to her. Hey, Shady, you haven't what? I know. I got to do the Ultimatum South Africa and get that done tomorrow. We got a panel on Sunday, and I'm trying not to jumble everything together. And then next Saturday is my birthday, so I don't want to do this on a Saturday. So I think we are officially moving this to a first reaction. The episode, the episode is given what it's been given. It's been given what it's been given. Give me a like before you go. Come back. Give me a hashtag replay. So he runs his behind right on over to the fellas with Greg and Clutie's like, and we trying to talk it out, and here she go calling me a B again, and she right on his heels, baby. She's like, and did because you couldn't handle the truth, and you're egotistical. I said, okay. Millie is going to say what's on her mind, and that is that. So she says, I heard your thing is small. Millie, yikes. She's like, you can never be with a woman like me. I mean, Greg is pulling her away. He's calling her fake. Chris is calling Millie this fake. That is, Greg is like, okay, girl, come on. He's trying to keep her away, but they going again, Aaliyah, back, forth and forth. It's getting a little ugly, quite frankly. And he's screaming, show me your bank account. Show me your bank account. Show me your bank account. I was confusion. And somebody else has said the same thing. Where did that come from? She was like, show me yours. I mean, we're going back and forth. Aaron J, of all people, had to scoop boot him up on out the door. And as he's going out the door, he calls her a slut. Well, why did he do that for? Okay. Greg is trying to get Millie to basically understand. He's now got her in the kitchen. He's trying to diffuse the situation. She's trying to explain what happened. You gonna have to agree to disagree, is what he's trying to tell her. She tells him she wanted Chris to be accountable. Again, he was not, and he's not ever going to be. And I don't honestly know that he owes it to her to be accountable. That's more of a him and Sandia thing. And as we said in the last episode, we, myself included, are not going to be more mad than Sandia is. If Sandia wants to take the nonsense, we're going to let Sandia take the nonsense, and we're going to go over here and mind our business. That's what we're going to do. So in the confessional, Greg doesn't really understand why she's so combative. Wait for it. So Chris, he in the room, and he tells Sandia that they are enemies, and he is done talking to her. He a little dramatic, y'all. Aaron H walks his old behind into the room, and he's like, that B word comes easy for her, and I hope she stops because it's not a word to play with. I said, oh, Aaron H. Oh, Uncle Aaron, I know you effing lying. I know you lying. Didn't you just call that lady sister the B word just a couple seconds ago? And we ain't seen her all episode. And here you come, poking your nose in the business where it doesn't belong. So Chris is like, maybe she likes me, or maybe she thinks I'm attractive. One of those. I can't remember which one he said. It was one of those, grade school, you push me because you like me kind of things. And I just was like, I don't even think that that's what this is. And so Aaron H says, maybe she called you that because you got that jacket. And Sandia laughed, and that did give a little levity to the situation because when he was outside talking to the fellas, it was a little crisp. So he had, he was like, I'm not about to be out here, I'm not about to be out here shivering. So he put Sandia's little jacket on, and he just never took it off. So now he goes in there to have this conversation. He's still at that point sitting on the bed talking to Sandia with this little teddy jacket on. It was a mess. So Sandia is in the kitchen with the ladies. And now where you want to pipe up is not with Chris, but to defend Chris to Millie. Okay, girl. So she's like, Chris, he has a problem. He doesn't like women to raise his voice because he doesn't want to disrespect the woman. And she brings up the name calling, that basically, like, that's where we draw the line. We don't need to be calling nobody out their name. Yeah, girl. Yeah. But again, you let him walk on over you. And for me, I feel like there has to be some sort of middle ground because Sandia, again, being a doormat is a no for me. And also screaming and yelling and calling that man out his name, maybe not the right move. So now Jody's best friend, where we gotta go get these two back up here. Jody's best friend and Aaron's dad is coming. And Aaron says he doesn't have any blood relatives besides his son in Atlanta. And I have questions. Do you have questions? Are your questions the same questions as my questions? I just put that out there. Let's put that out there. The good brother JB had said a word over there on Twitter about Aaron needing to, be honest with himself and the people. Hi, Daria. Good evening. Happy Friday. I'm hanging in there. How are you? It's a good time to get a little sip. A little sip, a little sip. So he's telling his dad that meeting Jody has been intriguing. Her career is a sexologist, and it is both sexy and intimidating, right? So dad says, listen, don't be intimidated. You learn how to navigate yourself in the bedroom by listening to women, right? So her being a sexpert, a sexologist, if you will, she's probably going to communicate to you what her needs are. And all you got to do is listen. Like, this is an opportunity for serious growth. You got a real gem here. I said, okay, Dad. And Dad, honestly, she might have been more interested in you than your son. Just saying. Not saying, but just saying. Not saying that's what it was, but there's no interest in Aaron. So then Jody tells her friend Cam that on their first date, it wasn't good. She says the execution was a little shaky. You're a lot picky, nitpicky, and nasty. Because you didn't have to do that man like that. Can he get something for effort? No. Okay. So then we revisit this whole her being a man eater thing, which to me, it's like, listen, I'm confusion. Because on one hand, you're not trusting because you were abused, which is fair, right? And you don't like to open up, but at the same time, you're a man eater. I don't know how all that goes together. Now I know that could be a defense mechanism, but honestly, I just don't believe Jody with this at all. So, like I said, Aaron H probably still in the doghouse. We ain't seen Diamond since the beginning of the episode. Walk around poking his nose to where it doesn't belong. Decides that he is going to speak, to Aaron's dad and let him know about Jody. And he does so right in front of Aaron Jr.'s face, which I was like, okay, I mean, at least he didn't go behind his back. But at the same time, I was like, what are we even doing here? So dad kind of clocks and asks him, like, why her being a sexologist and then being, the way they are with the intimacy thing is an issue. And he says that Jody is disconnected from Aaron. Again, none of this is his business. He's saying he's around the same age as the dad and his son and blah to the blah to the blah. You just have nothing better to do, sir. And you don't like the two of them, and that's fine. But zipping the lips is always an option. So Jody walks in where they have this conversation and she kind of escorts them into the other room because, like I said, she was sitting there talking to her friend Cam. So now you got Cam, Jody, Aaron, and his dad. And we are all going to talk now. His dad and her friend don't really see an issue with them handling the intimacy thing the way that they are, because the friend is like, people feel like you have to be sexing or kissing to, yeah, but no. Yes, but with these two, no. But dad is asking her where her confidence level is that they will work. And at first she's like, and she says without outside influences, high level of confidence, but with the outside influences, girl, they gonna be there. You just got to navigate past them. You can tune them out, but that's not really your issue. But this is what we're telling his dad. So okay, I guess. So dad's like, you can trust him a little bit more. And dad and her friend are kind of saying like F what everybody else is saying. And right before they're about to leave, dad or one of them brings up that dad can salsa. So they slide that table to the side and they get a little salsa on, okay? Dad was busting the moves, and this gave Jody life, okay? And dad and friend think the rest of the house is just jealous. I said, y'all just don't know. But I mean, I appreciate y'all supporting your family members, definitely for sure. So now Greg is asking Aaron H, what's the 411? Greg's in the hot tub. Aaron H got his feet in the hot tub, and Chris is in the hot tub. So Aaron says that Diamond is perfect. Diamond with the Y is perfect for him. However, Chris is not a believer. I got what he was saying. It just was right over Chris's head. She's not perfect. And also, she is perfect for him. I don't understand what he doesn't understand about that. But Chris has some of his own issues that he needs to work through in therapy. Now, and I know they met with Dr. Romney last week, and I was glad we got to see Dr. Allie, who I was not familiar with at the end of this episode. But I kind of feel like, and maybe we'll see that because we got 4 more episodes left, each of these couples needs therapy. So Dr. Romney sat with Chris and Sandia, which I felt like they needed a little bit more work, and maybe we didn't get to all the things that we needed to get through. And Dr. Allie is going to sit with Millie and Greg at the end of the episode, and I guess in episode 7 we're going to get more of that. But I think these other couples need to also be sat with and really do a little bit more of this and less of the sexual stuff, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's off the table, but that should be at the end of the list and not the front of the list. So Aaron H is basically saying he will propose to her before they leave. Yeah, we like to see it. So Millie sits down to have a conversation with Greg, And she tells him she doesn't want to punish him for what's happened to her or continue to punish herself. So she tells him that she has been assaulted before. Again, that's SA. I can't say it on here. You guys saw the episode, and also we can read between the lines. So you can see the hurt in Greg's face when she tells him that. And she says, so she gets flustered and she's starting to tear up. And I was like, the scene is about to take me out. Cause I feel like she seems so hurt that it feels fresh. And I feel awful. I feel awful. Going through the whole thing with Cassie situation, I reposted her thank you, if you will, on my community tab, and believe them the first time they tell you. You could just feel it in here. I don't want to start to get emotional. So she says, she could talk about it, and he's kind of thanking her for sharing with him, but she blamed herself. She was like, I shouldn't have been in there at that time of night. I shouldn't have done this. And I shouldn't have said, and this is where I wanted to cry. And I did definitely tear up a little bit watching this episode, because that is the most horrible thing, for you to replay the things that you should have done for somebody that did the wrong thing and chose not to control themselves and their actions. So she says she learned from it, but it's also made her more defensive. And if she doesn't feel safe, that masculine kicks in. Now we get a little more clarity into how she's been behaving with Chris and just in general in the episode. And I feel like she doesn't always or quite give Greg that energy. She is more understanding with him, because he is understanding. And she said that she doesn't want to be masculine. She wants to be feminine, but she can't. Again, at this point, I was appreciating his calming energy, or at least I did. And I thought she did, but maybe later she didn't. I don't know. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But just him allowing her to express herself and just kind of listen, apologizing and listening. He was, stroking her neck and holding her and things of that nature. I appreciated it. Like I said, in the moment, I thought she did, but then later on, not so much. So he says that he will be there for her and he will be strong for her. But she says, listen, I don't need you to be strong for me. He's like, everybody needs somebody, and that she'll be all right. So yeah, that was a tough scene. And I hope she can, I hope that they work, but I hope that mostly she can move past it and get the healing that she needs, because that's a priority. And then wherever that leaves them or her with somebody else, then that's secondary. So now the fellas sit down and they have some conversation, and they're just chitting and chatting. And then we find out that Aaron was in there passing gas while Chris and Sandia were laying up. So it's kind of like an intervention for Aaron J, aka Aaron with the earring. Shout out to Nita Diva. But he says that he's trying to respect her boundaries. Lord, and he should have done that and not listen to these folks, because it went to the left, So they tell him, just take your bed and move it in there with Jody. And so they do. We see them physically picking up a bed and moving it into the room with Jody. And he says that he wants to progress the relationship. So, let's go back. Even before that, we see that everybody's comfortable. Everybody's settled with their partner now. Now. Except for Aaron. Let's go to them. Except for Aaron and Jody. Everybody else is comfortable, booed up with their significant other. And this is where I was confusion. I said, why did he need to pick up that bed and move it into the room with all them other empty beds? Like, all the women had one room. The men had multiple rooms, which I don't understand that. But why did he need to move a bed with all empty beds? Child, I digress. Get down in the comments and let me know if you feel me on that one. He says he wants to progress the relationship, so he slides the beds together. And her reaction the next morning is WTF. He tried to wake her up with a kiss, and he said she turned into, okay. She says, and her face looks hell of uncomfortable. And she's like, she's uncomfortable. You know how I feel about boundaries. I was like, she is so serious. She's so sincere. Um, he's telling her about the conversation with the fellas, and she's like, she wants them to stay on the same page and leave things the way that they are. That's when he speaks to feeling away because everybody else was kind of coupled off. He fell and, succumbed to the peer pressure, but he doesn't want her to feel uncomfortable. I felt a lot of ways about this situation. I felt like yikes and whoa, but at the same time, I cannot discount how she is feeling with what she's been through. So, yes, these two do not have chemistry. Yes, she don't like this man. We don't really know what his sexuality is, to be perfectly honest. And also, she has had trauma, and this is how she's dealing with this. So he can either she will need some more therapy, but he's either going to be willing to meet her where she is, or they can leave this whole thing alone. To me, it's probably we're more going to leave the whole thing alone because we kind of playing a little bit in our face with this whole situation of them even being on the show. But it was a lot. It was a lot because, like I said, I was conflicted because they just don't need to be together. That was one thing, and then the other thing of how she felt watching Millie, and like I said, we're talking about the Cassie, and this happens to so many women. I mean, everybody knows somebody. I've been through my own situations, not like I don't even want to get into it, but everybody's been through something in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's, I don't even want to get into it. We've just all been through things. So I can understand um where she was coming from, and it was hard to watch. So now later on in the kitchen, I think like Chris is in there. Not sure about Sandia, but definitely Josh and Shay. And she finally tells them that she was abused again, essayed. Um, and she doesn't like people touching her in her sleep. I was like, yeah, that's very real. I can have nothing negative to say about Jody when it comes to this particular topic, right? So she kind of at that point decides to open up to them and tell them that that's why she became a sexologist, so she get more comfortable with her body, doing things on her own terms. So Chris, he apologized and he says that he did not know and that he's sorry because they kind of push Aaron into doing it because he was, planning on upholding her boundaries, but everybody else was all booed up and he was kind of a man on an island. And so, they peer pressured him a little bit, but he's sorry he didn't know. Which, that's Chris's favorite person. So I'm sure he's hurt that she's hurt and didn't, that's not what he wanted. They was trying to help the guy Chris out. Like I said, Aaron with the H. We ain't seen Diamond with the Y all episode. We about to get to the very, very last scene. Um, so yeah, he ain't got nothing to do but walk around poking his nose in. Josh and Shay are here for um effing and eating and effing. That's what they gonna do. Okay. They got some stuff. I think we're gonna finally get to them next episode. We're slowly meeting the family. Everybody we're meeting, one episode at a time. I like that. It's not always going so well. Didn't go so good for Aaron H, Uncle Aaron, and Diamond with the Y. We never got to see anybody with Alexis and Dominique. Brendan and Sienna, they didn't handle that properly because they didn't talk to each other, but they wasn't meant to be together. No way. Greg and Millie, I think that was a good situation with Millie's sister talking to Greg and Greg having some time with his mama to give him some introspection on where he's been. So now this episode, like I said, we got Aaron J with the earring and Jody and their people. Now, I don't think their people got the full scope. Maybe when they see it on TV, we'd like to know how y'all feel about it once you see everything play out. But yeah, we're moseying right along. So who do we have left? Let me just scroll up really quickly. So we have Shay and Josh need to have friends come. Chris and Sandia. And that's it. That's the last two couples that are going to have friends or family come through. And we're going to see how this whole thing is playing out. So now we are getting into the last scene. And we have Greg and Millie. And Millie had expressed to Taronda that she wanted to talk to somebody and, be revealing some things. So courtesy of Taronda, they're going to meet with Dr. Allie. Hey, Nina. Hey, girl. Hey. You out hanging out. So Millie brings up the abuse and she says that she told him, but she's not allowing it to affect their relationship. So now Dr. Allie wants to get a little more into what happened. And she's kind of, I don't want to say she's lackadaisical. It bothers her. So I think she was trying to get it out as effortlessly and like as nonchalantly as possible. She said she came to California at 22 and she had no place to stay. And so she was around the wrong people. And he says it's hard to hear and he's sorry that she went through it. I just want to look and see how old Millie is supposed to be. Millie at this point, okay, it's sorry, 32. So, oh god. Okay, so this was 10 years ago. It does not feel like 10 years ago, but it feels fresh. But I digress. Maybe I was wrong in that respect. So Dr. Allie is asking Millie how she deals with her trauma. And she was like, I go from 0 to 100 because, I got to protect myself. We were getting into the whole Millie leaning into her masculine and having to protect herself and not wanting, people to take advantage. That's what I said. I said, you hanging out. Enjoy yourself. I'm glad you're out and about. I had to work today and I had to work tomorrow. I'm enjoying myself next weekend because next weekend is my birthday. Although actually I'll be here on YouTube, but I'm gonna go out before I be on YouTube for my birthday. So Dr. Allie is telling Greg to be aware of the things that child, I made it almost all the way to the end. Hold on 1 second, if you will. If you guys don't mind liking the video, I will be right back. Okay. My bad. My apologies. 1 second. Sorry, I just always have to give it a minute between me talking and the music, because otherwise it gets weird and it gets crazy. So my apologies, you guys. Dr. Allie is kind of trying to explain to Greg to like be mindful of the things that she does when she's about to amp up. Like she touches her hair. It's like, like a nervous thing. We'll have our little things. So when she starts to touching that hair, to kick into action and try to, help her calm down is what I would say. I wouldn't say calm her down. Help her to calm down or feel comforted or feel in this space. So Greg is saying that he's had his own experience and Millie starts to get like a little upset. Like there's a little eye roll and Dr. Allie's like, I see two traumatized people that have a hard time being there for each other because they still need to, deal with the trauma for themselves. Yeah. I didn't pick up on that to this episode. I mean, Lenny Kravitz's little cousin, I don't know. I mean, he's not perfect by any means, but I just I guess I was so focused on Millie's trauma because we could tell it was there before she even revealed it. And he did say something about rejection. So now I'm wondering what his trauma is going to be. Is it going to be an assault thing or does he have like mommy wounds? Child, I guess we're going to need to get into it next episode. So Doc says, tell me about your trauma. So he's kind of saying in the confessional, like, he's never spoke about it to anyone ever, never, ever, 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 right? So, like I said, Millie's getting annoyed. She rolling them eyes. And I guess we are going to talk about it in episode 7 because that was where the episode ends. We do not know what Greg's trauma is, but there's obviously some trauma there. And I'm not quite so sure why Millie is bothered by it. I know she was saying something about him having issues with her grief and her trauma, so to speak. But does she feel like he's BSing, or does she feel like he's overshadowing her trauma? Get that in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Anybody that's coming through on the replay, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it, because like I'm doing my first reaction, even though there's some time has passed since the episode. Most people don't watch it on the first night. Honestly, I'm usually not a person who watches it on the first night, but because of my, I have things to do tomorrow. Next week is my birthday, and then Power Book Ghost will be coming. I think I'm just going to permanently move this to a Friday night first reaction for our last 4 episodes. So sorry if you guys kind of got used to me. I think I started on a Sunday and then we were on a Saturday. So sorry for moving. I keep you guys updated in my videos. I'm going to do a little bit of a better job of posting it on a community tab, navigating the whole YouTube of it all and getting videos up and scheduling and community tabs and social media. It's a lot. So next episode, we see Aaron J, aka Aaron with the earrings, and Jody are having a photo shoot. I said for why, but we shall see. And Shay is mad about something, and it sounds like it has to do with another woman. So let's get into that next episode. I thank you guys for joining me. Anybody that comes through on the replay, please leave a comment, #replay. Excuse me, y'all. Drop your girl, your favorite emoji, my favorite emoji, any of the things help with the engagement of it all here on the YouTubes, okay? Because, Lord, we all need it. We all need it. Night, Nina. I hope you guys are hearing me okay. Like I said, the music to talking and the music in the background transition is the learning experience. 1 second. All right, I think we're good. I just wanted to make sure we were good before I'm rolling on out of here. I don't try to drag these lives out. We're going to make it do what it do. We ain't really giving too much. You guys see Carlos is coming with it. This is not a Carlos series, but you see Carlos is coming with another reality series next month. I think I'm definitely going to check it out. I think it's about real estate folks in Texas. I don't think I'm going to recap it. I have other things to do. We got Reasonable Doubt coming back in the summer, and we got Bel-Air coming back in the summer, finally for seasons 2 and 3. So your girl will be moving on to other things, but I definitely will check it out since, the reality is starting to be my bag, even though I don't want it to be. Anybody who missed my Martha's Vineyard Summer House Martha's Vineyard live last night for the finale, please go check that out. Join me here sometime tomorrow. Actually, I was gonna do a live, but I'm thinking my notes are almost done. I will probably just give you guys a pre-recorded so you can watch it at your leisure. But I will drop it sometime tomorrow evening. That is the reunion recap for The Ultimatum South Africa. We are wrapping that all up in a bow. We got one more thing, Summer House Martha's Vineyard, and we are wrapping that all up in a bow. Sunday, join me on Inga71 on her channel. I think I'm streaming it here also, but we're doing a panel on the pillowcase unalivers. with me, Shayna MCD, and Inga. And then join me here on Monday nights for the recap of Summer House Martha's Vineyard reunion. Hopefully it'll be a good time had by all. Feel free to check out some of my other content by all means. You know, share this video where you share your videos, tell a friend to tell a friend, and all those good things. We're trying to keep that forward movement. Now, I know we're cutting it close because at this point, this is next week, but we still gonna, try. If we don't make it on the first, we, dust ourselves off and try again. But please help your girl get to 500. I would greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you for coming by and spending your time with me. You could be anywhere, but you're here. And I will see you people in the next video. Peace.